Hello, everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to all of you in the community town hall of Itheum. This is number 11. We have been losing track of the numbers, but this is the first community town hall after our TGE, and it is a very, very special one. So, very warm welcome to all of you joining from across the globe to our YouTube live today. I'm very excited, and I am here to introduce Mark Paul, our co founder and CEO, who is bringing updates of the roadmap of Ethereum, which is a very, very interesting thing, obviously, for our community. And anyone who is joining us new, they would love to know what our roadmap looks like for the next 6 to 12 months. And Mark is here all the way from Sydney to bring us those updates. Hi, Mark, how are you doing?
Hi, Anita. I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, great. So, would you like to just jump into that?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'll jump straight into some updates, and Anita, I'll have you back at the end if you have any questions. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us once again. This is our community town hall. As Anita was saying, this is the first town hall after our TGE, which happened a couple of weeks ago. So we haven't had a town hall since then, but we've had at least 4 AMAs, and we had a really good Discord AMA, I think about last week in our official Discord. So we're going to have more AMAs over the next couple of weeks as well. So the town hall structure is going to slightly change. We're going to use it more to talk about our roadmap, our technology, and the things we're working on. And if there's anything related to the token and and general operational stuff, we will address those in AMAs that we do more regularly and more personally in our community channels. So, but before I jump into the roadmap, I want to give you some updates on the token listing event that's currently underway or currently being planned on to be launched very soon. So a couple of weeks ago, we had the TGE on the Elrond launchpad. We had huge volume of interest. And firstly, I just want to take the opportunity on behalf of the Itheum team to really thank you everyone for participating, right? There's so many people who got involved. And this is quite humbling for us because we are so connected to our mission of making data ownership, give you back data ownership, that when the community comes on board and sees the value in what we're doing and wants to participate early in our project at such large volumes, we're so humbled by it. At the same time, given there were so many people participating in a time constrained event, right, like the whitelisting and lottery and all of that is like all time boxed. And when that happens, there's just such a funnel sort of pressure on this that there were lots of issues, and we acknowledged that as well. And we worked very hard with the Elrond team to try to minimize these kind of issues. Unfortunately, there was a few things that got through, and if you were one of these people who kind of went through this, we sympathize with you. We genuinely do. It was never the intention to go through all of that, but overall, it was quite a successful TGE, and a lot of people came out of it quite happy. But with that in mind, our focus now is on the listing on the DEX, right, the decentralized exchange listing, and that is on track to happen in the next couple of weeks. There was a new price discovery mechanism announced by Elrond. The Elrond team, they've tested it. And now it's going to go through the Battle of Eels testing. So if you guys are familiar with Elrond's way of public stress testing, Battle of the Eels, and then once it's out in production, we're going to be using it in the next couple of weeks or so to list our token on the DEX. So it's still early days, right? So if you hadn't got through the lottery, the public sale on the DEX, it's still like the epoch time, the genesis period of Itheum. So you're still very early, and you can all be openly be able to participate. So please get your updates on when this is going to happen from the official Itheum channels. Twitter, Telegram, Discord, we're always updating our community. Please make sure you get it from the official channels. We have noticed an influx in scammers. We are not listed anywhere at the moment, so please do not fall for any of these listing calls. And the official listing will happen, and you will officially hear it on our channels. So with that in mind, and with that update in mind, I'm going to now move into talking about our roadmap. and what's coming after the listing, right? Which is very important to know what we are building, what we have continued to build even through the TGE. We never stopped. We are building continuously through. We've been growing our team. We've actually onboarded 6 new people in the last week and a half alone, and we continue to be building. So I'm going to share my screen. And let's verify if that worked. Yep, I think that's good. So the first thing I encourage you all to do is head over to our Twitter, and you will see a pinned tweet about our next AMA. So in this AMA, we're actually asking the community to tell us what you want us to focus on. And I think you'll notice right here, there's 4 topics. So please head over to our Twitter, vote on this, and tell us what you want to address in our next AMA. Most likely it might be on Discord, and we'll have it more interactive. You can ask us questions, there will be rewards. So please head over there and tell us what you want us to answer in our next AMA. Righto, so let's jump into our roadmap updates. Just verifying if that is shared correctly. Okay, so Itheum's objective is to let you own and trade your data in the metaverse, and we are building products that kind of make this exciting and interesting. It takes this really complex, topic of data ownership and then makes it fun, right? That's what Itheum's trying to do. We're going for the viral approach. Like, we want everyone to participate. And as most of you might know, our key flagship product is called the NFMe ID avatar. So this is a soul-bound NFT avatar that's backed by your real personal data, right? There's nothing like this out there at the moment. And the idea is, as we enter more and more into the metaverse ecosystem, the Web3 powered open metaverse ecosystem, this becomes your identity, right? And you can enter these ecosystems, you can have personalized experiences, all backed by your real personal data. So this is our flagship product. It's just a single product that we always talk about, but the tech stack behind it is quite comprehensive. And this is a slide that we have shared very often, and all of this has been detailed in our white paper. But what we try to do is to create products that are appealing to the masses, right? If we talk about all the nitty-gritty tech stuff we're trying to do, it's going to bore everybody. So we want to kind of make you feel connected to the product, just like how you're very connected to your smartphone, right? You don't understand, probably, or don't want to understand all the complex tech that's happening behind it, but you get a really interesting and fun to use product. And that's Itheum's methodology, or a design methodology, to solving this complex problem of data ownership. So what is our vision, right? Our vision could be summarized in this slide here, and our tech stack can also be kind of summarized in this tech stack here. So it starts on the left here with the human who's collecting Web2 data. So this is, when I say Web2, it's the data you're collecting every day by using all your apps, the data that's been kind of stolen from you at the moment thanks to data brokers. So we have this human here generating, petabytes worth of data every day. And the objective is to port that data into Web3 and Metaverse, right? And create a seamless, friction-free tech stack that lets you do it. So Itheum's first product, as we've spoken many times before, is called the Data Cat, Data Collection and Analytics Toolkit. And this is like an SDK that real-world organizations and anyone can use to build apps that collect high-value personal data. So we've got a couple of these apps already in market: Red Heart Challenge, OK Pulse, which is a corporate wellness app, and we are building the Player Passport app, which I'm going to talk about later on. So this collects high-value data, and this is effectively the Web2 to Web3 data bridge that brings data into our second tech ecosystem that's called the Data Dex. And here we enable for the tokenization of data, for the peer-to-peer trading of data, for the secure storage of your personal data, the access control, all of them within data vaults. And once your data is in, you can claim your data in the Data Dex, and you can mint your NFMe ID avatar, which is a soul-bound NFT. Now, the NFMe ID avatar is a single interface to all of the complex data and tech that you see below it. So think of it as the access key to the Itheum protocol. And the avatar is going to be built in an interoperable format that lets you then take this into other ecosystems, metaverse and Web3 ecosystem. So because it's an NFT, it sits in your wallet and it supports all the interoperable standards that come with an NFT. It becomes almost like your gated access to apps and metaverse platforms. But the wonder of this is that it's just not an NFT, which is purely gated access. It's gated access plus access control to your data. So it opens up all these amazing use cases, especially in metaverse, where we always talk about, imagine you in the metaverse, you're walking through the sandbox, you enter a retail shop, and the shop changes based on your preferences, right? Because it's been able to get your previous purchase histories with consent from your avatar and the personalized shopping experience. So amazing use cases that we hope to enable in different sort of ecosystems. So how are we going to get there, right? Now, the next 12 months, we've kind of started looking at a few projects and already started working on these projects, right? So the first project we are very excited to be working on is called Player Passports. And the idea is to empower gamers around the world to own and trade their data. And you might think, why do you do this, right? So if you look at Web3, it's such a rich gaming ecosystem within it. But you see a lot of data silos and a lot of fragmented data everywhere, including guilds and games and hubs and all of these things. The one unique or the one common factor amongst all of this is the actual gamer, because the gamer is the one that moves between all of these platforms, right? And they're leaving this massive data trail of personal data. If they join a guild, they fill up all of this personal data stuff. But even on chain, like their performance, their earnings history, all of these stuff is available, right? So we're aggregating all of this through the data cat, tokenizing it through the data DEX, and aggregating it all into our NFMe ID avatars, which then become a player passport. And we got some really exciting partnerships in this that we are going to announce very soon. The second is in a little bit more serious sort of business vertical. Itheum, as you know, is a general purpose data stack. So we can actually operate in all of these verticals. And that's one of the amazing parts about Itheum, is that effectively we can service everyone, right? Every human on earth could own one of an NFMe avatar. And every business vertical on earth has a need for a data platform. So we have the broadest market, which makes it so powerful as a core data platform, right? So the second is we're working on what we call the healthcare passports in the metaverse. So we have some really exciting partnerships here that we are looking at creating pilot projects for. And effectively what we are doing and what we actually as a team, we have a lot of experience in health already, in health tech. We're looking at how do you bring real world health and wellness data into the metaverse, let people own that, and let people attach that to their health avatar, and let them trade it in decentralized mechanisms, right? So it's actually quite interesting that we are working on this project. And the third project is something we've recently been talking to a few people. It's to deal with the unlocking of unified space data sets, right? So we have really interesting use case here on things like precision agriculture, which lets you, which can be achieved through the unlocking of unified space data sets. And what I mean by that is there's so much of data being generated by satellites, and there's some amazing projects that are working out how do they allow the satellite providers and the data providers there to decentralize trade this data. So we're looking at setting up something like a data coalition DAO, which is bulk trading this data amongst themselves and creating wonderful use cases in precision agriculture, insurance, and all of these things. And lastly, another health project that we are working on is the enabling of health research data coalition DAOs. And again, how do we use mechanisms like data coalition DAOs to incentivize research institutes to engage with vast or large amounts of people and share in the value that's been derived from trading data, right? When you share value with a large amount of people through the mechanism of you give me your data, I will buy it from you directly. What you get is an engaged user base, people who are willing to share higher quality data. And this is very relevant in the health industry. So we're working on some pretty exciting use cases over there as well. So these are the high level projects that we're focusing on for the next 12 months. The next 6 months is a bit more specific, right? So the next six months is building these core building blocks that enable us to operate in any business vertical. But the core building blocks we're going to talk about, and the projects that are going to enable them, are our player passport and the metaverse healthcare passport. So if you look at our roadmap, we completed our TGE a couple of weeks ago. And the listing's happening any moment now, or very, very soon. The next immediate product that we're going to launch is what we call our generative 3D NFMeID Origin series, right? Now, if you're looking at this, you're probably thinking, okay, these guys are going to do like an NFT drop. And this is not the case. We're not going to do another NFT drop. NFMeIDs are NFTs, but they're generative NFTs, and they're backed by your personal data and identity. So we are creating what we call the Genesis series, right? So in other words, this is the NFMe core view, or the 3D view, that is going to create the base for all other NFMEs to come over it. So it's going to be super exciting. And yeah, it's fully generative. It's not a flat image. It's not a pre-built NFMe sort of avatar. It's generative. So it's actually, you do something, you verify your identity, and your identity is the one that generates a unique NFMe. So we've been building this. It's very exciting. We've been building this, focusing on this for the last many weeks. This gives you an idea of where we are at the moment. Fully customizable NFMe, complete 3D enabled, and yeah, you can pick your textures, you can pick your customize it, but eventually you can do some level of customization. What you cannot control is the texture. The texture is generated through your actual data. And what that ensures is that everyone who mints one of these things is going to own something that's super unique and in NFT format. And what's even more exciting is the final NFT before it's minted. The output standard is an interoperable 3D standard, which could then go into games, and you can do all of these things. So that's what we have been working on behind the scenes, and that's going to form the base of our player passport. And at the same time, we have a team working on bringing in player data from on-chain and off-chain data sources, and we're going to link all of these together. You're going to own one of these NFMEs, and if you're a gamer, it's got all your data behind it, and that's the objective. So we got some pretty amazing partners who we're going to test this tech with and work with. And at the same time, this NFMe is also going to form the base of the Metaverse Passport as well, the healthcare Metaverse Passport. So that's kind of where we are working on. It's a very quick update, I know, and it's very high level. What we would be doing over the next few town halls is we'll go into the specific progress that we're working on. The immediate thing that we're gonna probably start focusing on and explaining more and demoing more would be our Origin Series NFMeID avatars. So thank you for your time and attention. Let me just bring back Anita.
Hey, Mark.
Okay, fine, Anita.
Yeah, thank you so much for all those updates. I'm sure our community gets a more clear image of where we are going, and with Itheum, with the growth that we are focusing on and the kind of tech that we are focusing on. I would like to add on that we have been increasing our team, drastically, and that has also been much of our focus, because obviously we want to grow and we want our community to grow as well. So, we are hiring for more roles. So if you guys are interested in marketing or community management roles, please feel free to reach out to us through our community or the Itheum official channel on Telegram. So feel free to do that. And Mark, so I know we don't have like a regular Q&A today, but there is one question that has been coming a lot from our from our community, and I would love for you to address that. So this is around the price discovery. Would you like to share some more knowledge or throw some light on that, please?
Yeah. So it was explained in detail by the Elron team as well as a few other sources. And generally, from we've been looking into it as well, and it's a new mechanism that's been put into place to let the demand discover the price, right? And I think this is probably from the learnings from the previous project that launched on the launchpad, which from what we know, like we didn't specifically be heavily involved in that during the time, was there were some issues around early bot sniping and all of these things, which this is what we've heard, right? So I think the Elron team, we've been working with them for a while now. One thing that always comes across when we talk to them is they always want to do what's in the best interest of a majority of the community. So this price discovery tool, they've been working on it since the Launchpad project. And the general idea is that uh, let let give it a period of time when the demand from the community is what aggregates and averages and discovers a price to which the following participants can then get involved. So it's got a few stages to it. It's got the price discovery phase, which happens on one day. Once the price is discovered based on the demand or the interest of the community, it goes into a liquidity phase where people can provide liquidity into the Ethereum e-gold bucket. And then it moves into the third phase of regular opening up the markets for people to come in. Now, we've had comments about the tokens being locked. Like if you participate in one of these days, you don't get to immediately, I guess, sell your tokens on like day one. It's locked for, I think, 3 or 4 days. So this is something that's quite unique again. And yeah, I mean, there are things that make it sound confusing. But I think, again, going back to the overall goal of Elron is to ensure that the vast amount of community, not just a select few who understand this or can kind of come in at the right time and make the most value. They want it like open as much as possible. So they explained it to us. They very clearly before they actually went on to implement it, and now they're testing it. And we support them in, right, because their goals around community is very similar to our goals around community, right? We want this to be as open and a fair distribution as possible. And yeah, so we support them in what they're doing. So uh, it is quite a complex system that they're built, which is why they're putting it through rigorous internal testing, and they've moved it into Battle of the Eels, which is happening very soon, which the community can then participate in using it, familiarizing themselves with it, and also stress testing it and making sure it's all good and the parameters are adjusted accordingly. So we encourage Ethereum community as well, participate in the Battle of the Eels. I believe you can earn something from it as well by doing it. So get involved, and yeah, the outcome should always be net positive, right? It should suit a majority of the community, and if we can work together to this goal, I think it'll be awesome.
Great. I'm sure people would love to, get into this and explore more of what Ilron has to provide. And obviously, I'm really excited about the roadmap. I'm sure you people are too. So I think that's it for today's town hall, and we'll catch up next week. Mark, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, thank you everybody for your time and attention. Once again, thank you for the interest you show in Ethereum. We take our role very seriously now, especially because we know people want a project like this. And yeah, we're growing our team very, very fast. So if you're into marketing, if you're into business development, we have roles, but our engineering team is the one that's growing the fastest. So if you are a software engineer, Web 2, Web 3 software engineer, reach out to us on Telegram, and yeah, we're happy to have a chat with you guys and
Yeah.
girls. So
Thank you so much, Mark. This was a great town hall. Signing
thank
off.
you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.